of seeing me open these boxes, I think. This one just got delivered by UPS about a half hour ago. So I set up the cameras. And here we go. This is the G4500. At least that's what they said they were sending me. And this one is a freebie on them. So I guess in a way this video is sponsored by Farmertec. Let's see what we got. I don't have an empty box. I should have lots of empty boxes. Okay. I gotta do some assembly on this one apparently. There's the brake lever. And the starter cover. Oh, wait a minute. They sent me the parts for the 660 in here. That's the brake lever for the 660 and the starter cover for the 660. So I'll be looking forward to a video of that. I'll be putting those on. Alright. Well, gee, I wonder if the other... Aha! And there's the new tensioner for the 441. So we'll be getting to that too. Awesome! Okay. Another little toolkit. Another little booklet. Another little fuel bottle. And another power head. Okay. Let's see here. So, I just had somebody ask me if these were Strato charged motors on these like the Red Max is. I do not know. I don't know what the original model numbers that these were made from are, so I couldn't tell you. The Strato charged motors all have a Z in the name of the saw, and these, of course, have been re-lettered by Farmertec, and they don't use these Z's in their part numbers, so I don't know if it is a Strato charged motor or not. I know that the 38 that I opened up actually yesterday will, I don't know if it's a Strato motor or not, but I know it's like still on the first tank of gas and I've been running the crap out of it. I don't know, but it sure does seem like it's, and it's gaining more power as it goes. So I did have a little bit of an issue with it, and I will explain that on this one. If it's a similar build, I'll give you the warning on it, or maybe I'll just pull it up here and show you on it. But there is something to watch out for on them. Not a big issue. I mean, it was like, it took less time to fix it than it does to tighten the chain, so. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. I tell you, they taped the crap out of the bubble wrap. There she is. Okay, that's a bit heavier than the other one was. That's the 4500. So this is a 45cc saw. And don't ask me why I always pop the air filter off first just to take a look inside of it, but it is built very similarly, but it doesn't have the problem that the other one does. So I'm going to, I'll pull the other one up here and show you real quick here in a little bit what's the issue with it that I ran into today. But same type of air filter, looks like a little bit better connection to the carburetor though. This is metal, where on the 38 it was plastic. Also, no primer bulb on this one. There is a marking on the casing where there could be one, but don't have it on here, so there's your high and low and idle. And do they have limiters? No, no limiters on the high and low screws, which means you can adjust it the way you want it, which gets the Uncle Si thumbs up of approval. And it has a metal on-off switch, where the 38 had a little plastic toggle switch. Now this one, they did not send me a bar. And if I recall correctly, this guy is a 325, which will make it one of the only saws I have that is a 325 pitch, because almost everything I have is 3/8 pitch. Luckily, good old Mike down in Texas, when he sent me the two Homelight XLs, he sent me a bunch of other stuff in that box. If you remember that video, or if you haven't seen it, go back and look at it. But there was a Forester bar that was a 325, and like 3 chains for it. So I'm going to use that if the oil hole lines up on this. So we're going to find out here in a moment. Installing bar and chain. Note the direction of the chain, which I'm trying to get better at. Is there a specs page in this little dude? Maybe somewhere at the back? Ah, here we go. Special motor. Yes, this is a 325 saw, and it's a 058 gauge. But for those of you that are still somewhat novice on chainsaws, the gauge pertains to the bar and not the sprocket, unless it's a rim sprocket, and then it might. But I've never really had an issue with either one of them. As long as the chain matches the bar, you're going to be okay. At least in my experience. I could be wrong. There are people that know more about this than me. Okay, so tensioner is on the front again, but it is on the outside of the bar. And this is a rim sprocket, not a star sprocket. So I actually like those better. They seem to be more efficient, and they're a lot easier to replace when it comes time to do that, because you do wear them out. Okay, this says JC45020 gasoline saw. Don't know what that means, but I haven't seen a plate like that on the other saws. This has a metal housing, by the way. It's a plastic top and handle, gas tank, oil tank's on the front, but the starter housing and the main housing, no, starter housing is plastic, but the main housing is metal, cast metal. The other saw was plastic. So let me grab that chain and bar. And let's see if these oil holes line up. And if they do, we will have us a operational 4500. I believe that does. Yep, dead on. So a Forester bar fits it. Now this is HJ18, which is an 18-inch bar, 325, 50, 72 teeth, G9 it says on it. So I don't know if that helps you guys identify what bar it is, but it's a pretty common bar size, to be honest. So it looks like I'm running an 18-inch bar on here today. Okay. Gonna have to move that tensioner back again. close. Yep, there we go. So I can tell you so far, by the looks of it, this is a much higher quality machine than the 38 was. Let's get this thing assembled. I'm not going to beat around the bush. We're going to take it out and try it out. Well, I am going to beat around the bush a little bit because I want to show you on that 3800 what I found that was an issue. And hopefully Farmertec is watching and will note the issue and be able to see if they can't take care of it. Oh, got these too tight. I have a tendency to do that sometimes. So I guess there is an advantage to collecting all these saws. They didn't send me a bar, and I had one anyway, even though I don't have any other saw that can use this bar. Thank you, Mike. So gas and oil are opposite ends this time. I think I mentioned that, but just in case. And it does have an adjustable oiler also. I see the markings for it, I don't see the screw. That's it right there. Well, it's going to take a smaller screwdriver than that to get in there. Yeah. And it is already maxed, so we'll leave it there for now. Okay, this feels a lot like that YZ6200. I mean, as far as in my hands and the way it's balanced. So, I don't know, we'll put some gas and oil in it and try it out. But first, let me show you that 38. So, on this thing, there is a grommet that the throttle control wire linkage passes through, and I was doing some carving and had the saw upright like this, and that grommet came loose and got in behind the bend that lets the wire come over to the side of the carb to hit the throttle. So, let me see if I can get up in here. This little boot right here is loose. And so when I had it facing down, the whole saw flipped over from what you see there, that whole boot slid forward and it caught the little L in the wire. And so it was stuck at like a high RPM, and it would not come down because the wire was stuck. I turned it off, popped this off, saw what the problem was, pushed the boot back down, and I've used it some more since then. I hadn't done it again, but that boot's still loose. So that is something that Farmertec will need to look into, and I will drop it into an email to them as well. But that little boot right there is, it's loose. And the other thing I didn't notice it the other day, is that the gasket for the air filter, after running for a little bit, it's already just falls out of here. Oh, now it doesn't. Show me to be a liar. But anyway, it's like when I take it off now, this comes off with it, and you need to stick it back in here before you put it back on. And then make sure it seats, yeah. But that's the only thing I've run into on this one so far. I will keep you posted. I do not know if this one is stratocharged. I do not know if that one is stratocharged. But the way this one's running now, as it's starting to break in more and more, it's gaining more and more power. It's not bogging down near as much. So I'm kind of enjoying this little saw. It's nice and light, which is pretty good when you're just chopping firewood or carving. So, but let's take this bigger brother out to the wood lot, and I'm just going to take a few slices off that same old dry walnut log, because like I said, it's really good for testing saws. So, here we go. Okay, got the gas and oil in it, and in advance, it's a little windy today on and off, so if you hear a lot of wind noise, I apologize. I'll try to listen to it, and if I have to, I'll just redo the end of the video inside. But anyway, here we go. I don't think I need to tune that one up. I think it's just fine. Warmed up the chain enough to stretch it. Yeah, I think that did quite well. I mean, it's definitely a new saw because it's still bogging out a little bit, but as it breaks in, that will go away. I dare say this is a better model than the 3800, and it's not that much more expensive. I forgot to look to see for sure what the price was, but it seems like it was a $128 for just the saw, and then by the time you buy a bar, you're probably still spending less than $150 altogether from them. Yeah, that flat ate through it. Oh, one thing I wanted to explain, because I had somebody comment about it. When I cut down through here and I leave my hand off of the front handlebar, the reason for that is if a saw can pull its own weight through a chunk of wood, then that's a good thing. If I was to put this on here and it didn't have enough power to keep pulling the blade under its own weight, then that's not a very good saw, in my opinion. So that's why I do that. Somebody said, posted or commented, hang on to the damn saw. It's like, kind of hard to make that test without letting go with one hand. But you'll notice I keep my hand close to it, and as I get to the bottom of the cut, I grab the bar, because I don't want the thing to fall and hit me in the foot, or leg, etc. So, anyway, alright guys, this is probably a rather short one, but there will be more on this. I think my next two videos should be repairing the 660 and the 441 and bringing them out to cut some more. And then I want to do a video where I just get all of them together and like show you the whole collection of Farmertec saws and maybe make some comparisons between a few of them. I'm especially looking forward to testing this one against that 255 because they are the same size. I can run the an 18-inch bar on that. I'll get an 18-inch bar for it and run it on there and put the two against each other. Maybe do it in the old saw challenge style I was doing a while back. Anyway, let me know in the comments if you want to see one that way between these two. Alright guys, thanks for watching.